Is that the weakness?
It could possibly be that. It could be where Keegan Dolly will pick up that ball and they could do something, you know. These areas, yeah, I think that could possibly happen.
I'll be watching,
Thomas,
throughout the whole 90 minutes to see whether Chiefs can exploit those wide areas, get wide, cause pressure on Mvala, as well as Kekana on the other side. Lwazi, let me get back to you because these guys are absolutely spitting fire with the analysis, but we want to hear what's happening at the FNB Stadium. What can you give us?
Thank you very much to you, Thomas. And yes, we are getting closer to kickoff here at the FNB Stadium. And just to share some team news with you as far as the two sides are concerned. Kaizer Chiefs, of course, on 11 points from their 7 home games this campaign, are 11th as far as the home form is concerned. So there you go. One of the many issues that they have to figure out as they go through, not only just for tonight, but for the rest of the competition as well. And Coach Atazwane, of course, if you remember, earlier on this season, one of his first really big tests was a clash against this very same Sundowns team, and at the end of 90 minutes it was 4-0 in favor of the champions. So the question is, what has happened since then up until now? Where have the improvements happened for Kaizer Chiefs? Have they actually happened? Those are the questions that a lot of people are asking. And if improvements are going to happen, if experience is going to come to the fore, the likes of this man in picture are going to be so key. Itumeleng Khune is here. He's played against Sundowns plenty of times before, perhaps has struggled indeed to really make a bit of an impact as far as Chiefs are concerned when it comes to this particular tie in recent times. What is he going to do though? That's the question, of course, behind a really struggling defense. And as far as the team news are concerned, very quickly, 2 players are coming back. That is Fiso Hlanti as well as Keegan Dolly. And we're speaking about experience. That's the kind of experience the Chiefs will certainly be looking to try and pull out some sort of a shock result here this evening. Now, for Mamelodi Sundowns, well, it's all about records, isn't it? 11 on the spin, looking to extend that to 12, and of course, get yet another record, are the champions. And as far as Coach Rulani, I asked him what's going to be the difference here today. He says the quality on the pitch, and he's got so much of it from back to front, really, and including, of course, his captain, that is Themba Zwane. Mshishi, what a player he is, and might have been a bit quiet in recent times, but everyone else in and around him is certainly finding the back of the net. The likes of Cassius Malula are doing really well. The likes of Marcelo Allende are doing really well. Neo Mayema as well, but it all centers around the movement that man in your shot there does provide the champions here this evening. As far as their team is concerned, 2 changes as well that I've counted. Lucien Derouk comes out, Grant Kekana comes in, and of course the assassin at the top of the attack for Mamelodi Sundowns, Peter Shalulile. 5 goals he scored against Kaizer Chiefs, looking to make that 6. He gets a start yet again. So himself, Cassius Malula, those are the kinds of players that Kaizer Chiefs defensively, at the very least, will have to look out for this very evening. Look out for once as well for 21-year-old Samkelo Zwane, a man that I asked Coach Atazwane about. He's got plenty to say about the young man. 21 years of age, facing a really strong Mamelodi Sundowns this evening. He gets a start yet again. So himself,
Lots to think about there from Lwazi. Thank you very much, Lwazi. But now, you've already highlighted Chiefs defensively needs a lot of work. But surely there are areas, there are players that will be an impact that can potentially lead them to a victory against Sundowns there. Who are they?
Lwazi mentioned the player. Atazwane mentioned the player. I also picked him out to be a very important one. It's the youngster, an opportunity for him. And this just speaks to where Kaizer Chiefs is. Yes, we're speaking about the trophy drought, the change of coaches, the loss in form. It's a team in transition, and these are the players that are going to take the Kaizer Chiefs through to the next era.
Watch out for Samkelo Zwane in the engine room, in the center of that Kaizer Chiefs midfield. The 21-year-old, well, lots of huge expectation on his shoulders for this one, as well as that man there, Keegan Dolly. You know him well as a former Mamelodi Sundowns man.
Look, Thomas, I think it's going to be key in a sense when he cuts in. He's got a deadly left foot, and his crosses as well, his passing ability. I think he has matured as a player. But the question is, how long is he going to play into this game? Because he hasn't been playing because of injury as well. But with whatever minutes that he gets, I think it's one player that actually causes Mamelodi Sundowns problems, especially when it comes inside the ball.
Speaking of problems, Sundowns have the opportunity and the ability to cause problems to Kaizer Chiefs almost everywhere on the park. Who are the most dangerous key men for you, impact-wise, on
is how long
hurting Chiefs in this game?
Look, Thomas, being a midfielder, I'll start with whatever minutes that Nel Mayem, and I think Speaker has spoken about him. I think when Nel Mayem is on the pitch, it gives the team balance in that midfield. Because you look at, we have Mokoena, Allende, and Mayem on the left-hand side. So therefore, it actually helped Modiba to be able to go forward a little bit more with that balance as well. And you look at also the combination of them both. But I think also with tactical abilities as well from Mayema, you know, coming from Celtics to coming into a team that is highly talented players to be able to command a regular place. I mean, that's absolutely beautiful to see.
For Mayema, not one of the names that's being sung about in the newspapers, but high praise here in studio for him, Shalulile.
Apart from his total contribution in terms of fighting, playing for others, his stats are up there. You know, the season just before he left Highlands Park, he scored 16 goals. His first season at Sundowns, 15. Last season, 23. You know, so this is the man that has got, for a striker, it's important to go through a dip and not score and come back. So he's gone through all of those emotions as a player. And I think what we're going to see is, as much as he's come off for injury, he will be effective.
And he scored a brace against Chiefs this season already in the previous 4-0 victory that Mamelodi Sundowns had. Here's Kaizer Chiefs' team. That's the lineup for you. Bimini Mana up front will be absolutely key with 7 goals and 1 assist. The 1.9-meter tall man surely can use that frame to cause problems for Mamelodi Sundowns. There they are. This is how Rulani Mokoena has set himself up front. It's Shalulile. But don't forget, Themba Zwane, the numbers don't tell the story. He's got 2 goals, 1 assist, 16 games he's played, and he's the heart and soul of that Mamelodi Sundowns team. Deco, predict it.
Thomas, we're going to be very respectful today, 2-0.
Inhlonipho leyo.
Yeah, Inhlonipho.
2-0.
Respectful.
That's what he calls it.
Okay. I'm going to go with the upset. I think Kaizer Chiefs have a goal in them. I'm going to give it 1-0. We'll defend for quite a bit, but we'll walk away with the 3 points.
Interesting that they're both going with clean sheets on either side of the park. Despite the fact that Stiger feels that defense needs work, he thinks it'll be stronger today. Now, Kaizer Chiefs Sundowns, that's the game we've got for you on 202. There's another encounter to look forward to tonight, and that game is the one that sees Marumo Gallants there at the bottom of the table against AmaZulu. You see the channels there on your screen. If you want to check out that encounter, do Ikosi up against the Brazilian from Pretoria. It's the game you've waited for. Let's take a look.
It's modern art. Serie A, live and in HD. Only on SuperSport on DSTV.
Keep pushing, boy. I like it. I like it, man.
Hi.
Hi, man.
Where's Jordan?
Hi. He didn't come to training today.
Thank you.
You're welcome, man. Boys, I said all the cons.
Keep you and your loved ones safe anytime, anywhere with 24-hour access to South Africa's largest medical and emergency response network, real-time GPS location tracking, neighborhood watches and more on the Namola app. Namola, own your safety.
Introducing Super Picks Fantasy. Pick your team and compete to win cash prizes every day for free. Go to www.superpicks.com. Super Picks. Play for free, win for real.
We all love game day.
Bye, honey.
But sometimes life just doesn't play ball. There are some things you can control. With Sporting Bet, you can cash out your bets before your luck turns. Sporting Bet, the cash out kings. enter GR86.
Go to McDonald's and get your favorite fan flavor meal.
Mamelodi Sundowns have spent the last season setting new standards for South African football. Again today, the chance to set a new milestone. If they beat Kaizer Chiefs, they will win a 12th successive match. That'll be a new record for football in the Premier Soccer League. Kaizer Chiefs, by contrast, have lost their last two games without scoring, including a 4-0 loss against AmaZulu in Durban in their last match. And that was their second 4-goal defeat this season. The first time that that's happened to Kaizer Chiefs. The other 4-0 loss, of course, came at the start of this campaign. Mamelodi Sundowns were the team that inflicted that on them in the previous encounter. So the contrast rather big between these two sides. Big difference in points for Chiefs in 5th place. Sundowns top of the table, 19 points between the two of them. Although Kaizer Chiefs have played one game less. Welcome everyone. Soccer City on this Saturday night is buzzing. We have around about 30,000 spectators in the house, and we are looking forward to a magnificent encounter today with two sides who certainly have been at the top of South African football over the last 3-4 decades. Although these days it's Mamelodi Sundowns' title to lose. There you see the cathedral of South African football. Kaizer Chiefs hosting Mamelodi Sundowns tonight, and a chance for us to introduce you to the two teams for this encounter. Two changes for Chiefs despite losing 4-0 to AmaZulu. Kigadoli back after suffering concussion, and Sifiso Hlanti had a suspension and he missed that game against AmaZulu. He's in for Mashiani on the left-hand side. Dolly comes in for the young Nduduzi Shabalala. Take you through the formations and some of the key men to look for in today's lineup.
Thank you so much, Mark. It's so good to be here. We see Dumile Nkune coming in to captain the team, hoping to bring some stability in that defensive four. But of course, I think at Milson, the centre-back, is going to be quite critical today, that centre-back combination. But of course, I think more of the action will be coming from the likes of Samkelo Zwane to collaborate with Caleb in front.
Lovely conditions for these two sides in today's encounter. Lots of pressure, though, on Arthur Zwane. No goals, no points in 2023. They lost to Sekhukhune in their last home game, and then that humiliation at the Moses Mabhida Stadium some 8 days ago. Two changes also for Mamelodi Sundowns, despite the 1-0 win over SuperSport United on Monday. Grant Kekana replacing Rushin de Roock, and Peter Shalolile back in for Sereno. Tebogo Mokoena will be key in midfield. Ronwen Williams celebrates his 31st birthday today. And of course, there's a very good effort today on the part of the Sundowns fans to have more people here than Kaizer Chiefs. Here's the squad news with Amanda.
Yep, I think Ronwen Williams earns his starting 11, very consistent in the past few games. Of course, Grant Kekana comes in to replace de Roock. But I think most of the job today, Khulisa Modao against Ashley Duprier. That midfield, I think Tebogo Mokoena very key in making sure that he slots in that defense during a transition, but also make sure that he links play up front.
There's Rulani Mokoena, and we will now break for a moment of silence. Terrible news for the world of refereeing in South Africa. Moketsi Molelekwa, who turned 31 last month, from Botshabelo, killed in a car accident last night.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. May his soul rest in eternal peace.
Well, elegantly observed here, and a big loss for the referees. Linesman Monelekwa was due to work in Johannesburg on Sunday. He will be sorely missed by the refereeing community and by South African football at large. So Mamelodi Sundowns in the blue. Today's referee is Mr. Skumbuzo Gasa. He turned 32 last week from Port Shepstone. He started his PSL refereeing career in the bio bubble, and he's been given, arguably tonight, the biggest game of his young refereeing career. So some spotlight for him as well. Chiefs in their traditional gold colours. Mamelodi Sundowns dangerous in blue or in yellow and green. They have this runaway lead at the top of the table. Last season, of course, they won by 16 points, set a new record for the the biggest gap between first and second place, and if they keep up with the way they're playing now, they could certainly extend that one as well. So is there a little bit of running here, a little bit of sizing up? Ronwen Williams, perfect ball for Mudau on this right-hand side.
Morning commanders, morning. Singathi sinenkinga futhi nje izikolo sezivuliwe ne. Kunabantwana manje sebeyalwa la, kunabomama labagcwele kimi. So mina fanele ngibakhaphe nge-police station for labantwana laba abalwayo bayakwazana bayenzani. So umama nangu yena lana, I think ngcono asikhulumele umama yena ukuthi istory sakhe ngoba umntana wakhe cishe ekwazi. Nangu la ma-commanders sicela nincedeni la ngase ekhoneni, abasekhoneni baqalile kade bangasali baqalile futhi umama nangu uzosikhulumela.
Mudau's positioning and hoping that he might leave his position.
All right.
Forward, identify those spaces behind.
So back with Mbala again. It's a little bit of a slow start here in this game. They're just sizing each other up, these two teams. Goal kick. Inviting ball across the face of goal, but Kune had little qualms there.
A lot of pressure certainly going to be in that pairing, the centre-back pairing of Edmilson and Machek, and obviously Mailula will be looking at sniffing at every loose ball.
Big boost, of course, to the return of Peter Shalulile to the lineup. Battled with knee problems over the last couple of months. Did have the World Cup break to sit and work on his fitness and his return to action. Edmundson taking charge of him there. Mozambican defender up against the Namibian striker. So 4-0 earlier this year, Mamelodi Sundowns beating Kaizer Chiefs. The game at Loftus Versfeld in August set the tone for this coming campaign. It certainly has been a little one-sided of late between these two clubs. Chiefs' last victory towards the end of the 2021 season when Zuma scored the winner. There was an own goal from Lebusa as well as they won 2-1 away at Mamelodi Sundowns, and that was the only home defeat suffered that season by Sundowns. Now, Kune under a little bit of pressure again, and what's the referee say? It'll be a goal kick.
There's certainly going to be a demand for Kaizer Chiefs to make sure that they watch that shoulder break from Shalulile. He loves to run off the shoulder, and I think that's where Kaizer Chiefs can get caught.
Looks like a legitimate claim for a handball in there. Shalulile with 5 goals against Kaizer Chiefs in Mamelodi Sundowns colours, so he certainly does enjoy matches here against AMALHOSI, and of course at Loftus, scored twice in August. Allende now, the young Chilean who's made such a good impact since coming up, or coming to South Africa. Mudau battling away, that's good work from Dupria. Mudau challenging back, and it'll be a throw in here in favour of Kaizer Chiefs. So the commitment is there early doors from AMALHOSI and from Mamelodi Sundowns. This is shaping up to be a real thriller here tonight at Soccer City.
Yeah, and I think Kaizer Chiefs are going to be, they're going to have to be very thorough. And just as I was about to explain, the likes of Edmilson need to be very clinical, very precise in those kinds of positions and not give ball position away.
You're referencing, of course, that bad error in the game against AmaZulu. That was a real killer just before half-time, essentially the end of the game as far as Chiefs were concerned at the Moses Mabhida Stadium. Zwane rather into the penalty area. There's a little bit of a ricochet there, and it comes off the foot of the post and safely into the arms of Kune. That might have been a little fortuitous for Mamelodi Sundowns, but they all count. This is the first let-off of the game for Kaizer Chiefs.
Yeah, I think it all starts with just defending the throw-in. A throw-in is almost a set piece. Very passive from Kaizer Chiefs, and they're almost punished.
It looked as a kick against the defender, and then it just ricocheted perfectly onto the foot of the post and back into Kune's arms. Let's have one more look at it. This is the different angle. It was a kick, actually. Looked like Mark kicked it against Edmilson, and then it ricocheted back. And look at Kune's face. He's a mixture of anger at his defenders and some relief as well. So is that the first warning shot across the bow, you wonder?
It certainly is, and I'm sure that back four must be worried, and this has been lacking from Kaizer Chiefs, that coordinated maybe ability in their defensive marking, and I think they should be really concerned in that area.
First touch for the birthday boy, Ronwen Williams. Zwane with a little back heel here. Mailula getting an opportunity to play against Kaizer Chiefs and to continue building that reputation of his that's growing so rapidly. Big star of the future for South African football, and for Mamelodi Sundowns as well, homegrown talent for a change, having spent so much money in the marketplace to be able to produce a footballer. It's cost them nothing. Established himself well in that midfield, and his pass here to Mudau. Tough defender today is Sifiso Klanti, back from suspension.
And indeed a very tough task to look after players like Mudau, who's certainly going to be double teaming him. Peter Shalulile looking to break off the shoulder. So I think his experience, Coach Arthur Zwane choosing to have him come and contribute this evening.
Well, this is marked with a wonder goal here in the derby against Orlando Pirates in October. Can he produce some magic today? In the meantime, Shalulile pulls it back. Marked in defensive mode, stolen by Mudau. He didn't try the shot though. More on the left foot than on the right for him, and maybe a little uncomfortable. But there was a little window of opportunity there.
I thought I saw an opening, and I thought he could have gone with his left foot, but decided to recycle the ball. But once again, Kaizer Chiefs were punished against AmaZulu where set pieces are concerned, and this is a good opportunity to see if they've rectified those mistakes.
Absolutely. Two corners proving so costly at Moses Mabhida, and I'm sure that would have been noticed by the brains trust at Mamelodi Sundowns. So, what will Allende do here? High ball to the back post. And coming in was Mvala. Scored more than his fair share from set pieces when he was at Highlands Park. At one stage he was up amongst the leading goal scorers in the DSTV Premiership. Ooh, Mvala miscued there. Now Chiefs failed to take advantage. Good opportunity for Ngcobo to get the pace of Dolly going down the right. In the meantime, here come the men in blue. Themba Zwane. Mailula waits in the area. Shalulile is there too. Good defensive work from Frosler, and he'll get the free kick as well. Ball fired at Kune after the whistle, but That's a morale-boosting stop from him as well.
Just a clash there of knees. Themba Zwane going in there, Frosler. And I guess that's just the taste of the intensity, but also the physicality of what we're hoping to see in this encounter.
Frosler took a little bit of a knock. He'll get some instant repairs on the field. Playing at right back today. He can equally adept at left back. There's Arthur Zwane. Dylan Shepherd on the right of your picture as the assistant coach. Aubrey Madiba as the goalkeeper coach. Happy Mashiani, and behind Zwane, of course, is Ngazana. He used to come in for a fair amount of stick from his own fans. And Frosler is a little bit more concerned about Frosler because I've just seen Happy Mashiani go out and start warming up. Only a precaution. There's also Dylan Solomons warming up at the moment. So while the magic spray goes on and Frosler gets taken off, the medical team will just have a more thorough check here on Reeve Frosler and his ability to continue in this key tie. Chiefs with 3 wins in 7 home games in this campaign. Never used to be a problem for them. Their home form was always the bedrock or the mainstay of their success. Foot high there, free kick for Kaizer Chiefs, and that's in an inviting position. Dupriya caught by Mokoena.
Yeah, Mokoena just caught there. He slipped as he tries to toe poke that one, but of course the referee sees a bit of a charge, starts up quite too high, and hopefully this is Keegan Dolly territory.
Very proficient set piece taker, Dolly. He's up against his old club, of course. Ashley Dupriya battled a little bit with injury just before the World Cup break, and good to have him back in the Kaizer Chiefs lineup. He's always so exciting with his pace. Sankero Zwane in discussion, Yusuf Marks as well. Ronald Williams will know the danger that Keegan Dolly poses. That's no longer just a little confidence, more like an Indaba over that free kick. Let's see, they've obviously got something special planned for us. Dolly will take it. Maybe Zwane, could be the joker here. Zwane, well, Dolly with a chip, and at the end of the day, that is a rather disappointing return for all of that discussion.
This has been the story for Kaizer Chiefs, just lacking that coordination. I think with set pieces, you should know already how far it is from goal, what set piece suits that range, and I think that just for me spells just no coordination.
Impressive example last night with TS Galaxy against Cape Town City. TS Galaxy had a whole host of different set-piece routines, particularly corners with in-swingers, and it looked like they'd spent a lot of work on the training pitch and a lot of variety as well. Made a tough night for Cape Town City. He did win in the end, but it was an impressive set-piece routine that Galaxy produced. Mart's played this forward. Now there's a bit of space for Frosler. Looks up at his options. Is he going to go on his own? Mokoena is watching him. Dolly inside, Mart as well. It's a side perhaps in need of a real confidence boost, Kaizer Chiefs. If they can get the first goal here, we'll be onto something. And there's a little ball across the face of goal. So there was a little hesitancy in that Sundowns defence.
Yeah, I think like any team, Sundowns can also be quite fragile. And just with the good amount of pressure to destabilize players like Mbala so that they're not as comfortable. And I think in that regard, Mbala almost caught.
to Ronald Williams. Both of them, of course, signed from SuperSport United in the last 2 seasons. Teboho Mokoena, another one, Aubrey Modiba. Edmondson is obviously the man tasked with keeping an eye on Peter Shalolile tonight. Zwane. Bimenyimana now gets a chance to put his foot on the ball. Top goal scorer in the league, of course, along with Shalolile. 7 goals, bundled up fairly easily there, the big Burundian. And now Themba Zwane. Mailula was looking for it and then went the other way. Allende, Mudau leaves it for Zwane. Never know what he's got in his box of tricks, Themba Zwane. Until the last moment he comes up with something special. He's under a bit of pressure here, but look at the way he gets himself out of that situation.
Yeah, Themba Zwane is always looking at making something or creating some magic with the ball. 70% of ball possession from Sundowns. Just their trademark in how they play.
Yeah, no surprise there. I think we did expect the Chiefs. I think Arthur Zwane admitted it in the pre-match interview today. It's more about the result than playing good football. So you can expect the transition game more than anything else from Kaizer Chiefs. If they wanted to go toe-to-toe with Sundowns, they probably still would be battling to get possession, such as the quality of the Sundowns side. Zwane now into the penalty area, looking for Mailula. Maybe a lack of communication there between Kune and Edmilson, but it is Chiefs' ball over on the far side.
Yeah, the communication needs to be a lot better.
Dressed suggests it's a cool evening out there. It's anything but, I can tell you. It's been a warm day here in Gauteng, and it's still nice and hot. Ooh, well, you were mentioning it earlier, Edmilson, and again, commentator's curse, I think, you've placed on the Chiefs' defence. Yes, Mokoena, a little bit too strong. Good effort from Modiba, and it's out of play, Chiefs' ball. So we have been talking quite a lot about the 4-0 win for Sundowns over Kaizer Chiefs earlier this season, plus the Amazulu one, and the fact that Chiefs have never lost 4-0 twice in a single season. But those Chiefs fans of an older vintage will remind you that they've beaten Sundowns 4-0 twice as well, back in 87 and 92. Almost 30 years, or just over 30 years ago now. Yes, Duprier gets past Williams, but the first touch is heavy, and the goalkeeper had him going wide anyway.
Yeah, it was always going to be quite difficult for Duprier at that kind of speed. First touch as well. Goalkeeper coming through. I thought it was always going to be difficult, but great attempt. This is what you need to see from Kaizer Chiefs. More balls forward.
His pace, Duprier could be a real winner here today for his side. Hasn't missed a match since he signed. That pass to Kekana puts him under pressure, and he's recovered. He's got support from Allende as well. Duprier putting the press on him. Get themselves out of a tight spot. Do so rather neatly as well. Now Zwane up against young Samkelo Zwane. This is Mudau with a burst of pace. Lovely ball. Shalolile. He might have left it, but he didn't need to worry about it. That is a fabulous finish. Neo Maema has the opening goal tonight. And that is vintage Sundowns. A little bit of pace, a couple of passes. They looked in trouble at the other side of the pitch, made their way up to the other end and have the goal.
Beautiful goal, just the build-up from the back, the kind of passes, getting out of tight situations, leading up and always finding a free pass, always looking at the third man running. Beautiful combination play from Sundowns.
Well, those who made their trip across the Yukske River will certainly be pleased they did so. It is Mamelodi Sundowns with the early lead here. 21 goals now conceded this season by Kaizer Chiefs, a fifth of the campaign for Maema.
This is just too easy. Kaizer Chiefs just really letting Sundowns build up from the back. No pressure, none whatsoever, no sense of urgency. Dow with all the time in the world to pick up the pass. By the time to reorganize, it's a bit too late.
His first ball, it always looks as if Shalolida got in the way of Maema's effort, that he might have just left it, but he did pass it in then, and then the strike is an excellent one. Kune, to be fair, had absolutely no chance.
No chance at all. Now Maema, 2 back-to-back now, also scoring against SuperSport. I think has been in fine form.
It's a much more settled side these days, Mamelodi Sundowns. It's such a big squad. The temptation has been to chop and change and use players, but there's more consistency in team selection. That's a good sign for the African Champions League campaign that's coming up next month. They begin against Al Hilal of Sudan. They played them last year and dealt with them pretty okay. They've got Ahli of Egypt in their group. The big ambition for the men in blue this campaign is to win the Champions League for a second time. And if they can play this way against some of the top teams in Africa, then they've got every chance. Allende finds Mokoena. Zwane is in there, Mudau. Kakara, the press is being applied by Kaizer Chiefs. It's almost as if Sundowns are toying with them a little bit. Here's Mokoena, that's a little more dangerous, but gets himself out of trouble and gets the free kick off of Keegan Dolly.
The only problem with that press, Mark, it's not aggressive enough. It's not an attempt to stop a pass. It's almost as if one is going in isolation, and Keegan Dolly goes for a press, they pass it right where he's coming from. So again, it's just not coordinated, and pressing, it's always like a chain reaction. If one goes, the next follows.
Williams will just knock this forward. That's a little uncharacteristic. Edmilson has it back, and now the counter press comes from Sundowns, and Klati takes no chances, just knocks that into touch. Is this a nervy Kaizer Chiefs at the moment? Have taken a number of heavy blows over the last few weeks, really struggling with their confidence, and it looks to be the case again here tonight. Decent crowd to back them, but Mamelodi Sundowns have brought many, many supporters with them too. Mokoena, Zwane. Now Mudau, that's a lovely ball inside, looking, and the chance for Shalolida. He wasn't going to hesitate, fired at first attempt. Now let's see what they can do on the counter. This is a chance for Kaizer Chiefs. Ashley Dupree finds Dolly just a little behind him. Not the best of passes. Good break though from Chiefs, showing that they have got potential on the counter.
Yeah, and I think Ngobo has been absolutely key in making sure that he makes those forward passes, identifying the space and the moment to choose into passing Dupree.
Disappointed with that ball, Dolly. He wants to make an impression against his old side. Back in the team, they had to go through a concussion protocol after he ran into the referee.
Yeah, and I think, Mark, you spoke about how Kaizer Chiefs are going to be looking at attacking Mamelodi Sundowns in the transition, but they have to be clinical in their passes. And of course, Keegan Dolly is going to be disappointed in that.
Dupree's got the pace, but just needs a little bit more finesse on those passes to his teammates. interesting to see the passing in this game. Look how many passes already for Sundowns in comparison to Chiefs. They've had so much more than possession. But the important figure there to back up your argument, the accuracy. Chiefs only 65%. It's not good enough at this level if you want to beat Mamelodi Sundowns. Free kick here. And Alende will get a little talking to. 25 minutes gone here at Soccer City, the 1 goal so far. Marcelo Allende has played for Chile at full international level, one friendly appearance, but nevertheless a sign of a player who is highly rated in his home country. The fact that he's made the national team, it's a real coup for Mamelodi Sundowns to have signed a player of his ability. Good cover. Mbala. Well, here comes Ngobo. Dolly inside and another inviting ball. So there are little snatches here of suggestion that Chiefs are capable of doing something in today's game.
Yeah, Ngobo once again making sure that he initiates that front press. Keegan Dolly joins in, they get the loose ball, but just not enough for Caleb to really just poke in a toe there.
Has been positive off the penalty tee, of course, with the majority of his goals. It missed that all-important one against AmaZulu last Friday. That was a real turning point in the game. He owes the supporters something here today. I'm not sure if they get a penalty, whether he'll be the man to take it. Maybe someone like Dolly.
I wonder though where Dolly's concerned. I'm just looking at his first 26 minutes or so. Hasn't really been sharp, maybe just lacking that match fitness, but maybe Caleb could be the one to step up just to improve his stats.
Yeah, to mount himself ahead of Shalolile. Bradley Krobler as well on that list of leading goal scorers at the moment. Now Shalolile hoping for a run down the left from Modibo, which didn't come. With Reeve Frosler. The crowd excited as well. That's what makes him such a special player. Shalolile. Every single Chiefs player back in his own half, to negate the threat that Mamelodi Sundowns pose here. Maema. Challenge in from Edmilson, cut out by Mbala. Ngobo under pressure. A bit of pinball at the moment, going from one player to the next. Mart has possession now for Chiefs. Dolly a bit more space out wide. Wants some running from the front two. Doesn't find Bimenyimana. Sundowns, of course, only conceding 6 goals from 17 games in the league this season. Richards Bay with 8, Galaxy with 9 are the other 2 best defences. Chiefs already 21, and they've played 1 match fewer. And looking almost to tire poor old Ashley Dupree up there, making him chase under all of those balls. Here's Allende. Without. Too strong. It's a fairly subdued crowd at the moment, so half an hour approaching. Maybe the Chiefs fans are a little stunned, and the Sundown supporters smug satisfaction away on the far side. And Lende now wins the free kick, and Shanti is the player who the referee will have a little talking to. Shanti just back from a suspension after an accumulation of cards.
Yeah, Shanti's first touch just lets him down. Tries to get a second bite at it, and unfortunately his boot is quite too high. Very dangerous play, actually.
Now young Samkelo Zwane has taken the role vacated by Blom. It's Ngobo with a good ball. Surely a chance here for Dolly. Did that hit the outside of the upright? That was a good chance. There they carved the defence apart.
Big chance, but once again Ngobo finds himself with so much space. Another forward pass into the path of Keegan Dolly, who's just offside.
So it wouldn't have counted, but he'll be disappointed with his finish.
Yeah, we'll be very disappointed with his finish. But you have to compliment Ngobo there. But also that run made by Caleb, just taking those defenders away to create that space for Keegan Dolly.
Williams, Modiba, up to Zwane. Rare error from him. Wearing the captain's armband these days is Themba Zwane. There's no lack of leaders in that Mamelodi Sundowns lineup. Shanti, ball inside, Ngobo just got away from him. This is a good passage of play from Kaizer Chiefs. They're showing they have the capability here.
I think Kaizer Chiefs look a lot better when you have the likes of Shanti also joining in the support, just to really try and push their block a bit forward so that it's a little bit more threatening for Sundowns.
Zwane with a turn, Mark catches him. Chiefs fans don't like that call. Very expressive young referee is Mr. Gasa from Port Shepstone. Is that your hometown, Amanda? Isi Dingo, I think it's called, or Isi Pingo?
VP is from Port Shepstone. He's certainly from our Ugu district down in KZN, so he's definitely my homeboy.
Well, don't jinx him now. He's having a great game. Modiba's in a bit of trouble here. This might be a chance for Chiefs, and then the pass from Dolly does not find Ngobo. Just those last little touches from Kaizer Chiefs, lacking the polish they need.
Yeah, and I think if it was coupled with a bit of conviction, just believing in what they're doing, Kaizer Chiefs would have profited. They apply the necessary pressure. Ashley Dupree realizes the moment, and just that final pass lets them down.
Now back at the other end as Sundowns look to attack. Alende to Modiba. Little pass in from the Chilean, looking for Zwane. Shanti will clear. Now Dupree, maybe an opportunity. Mudau's quick though. He's back into position. Alende with the interception. Zwane. Mailula to his right. Alende joins in. Shalolile looking for the ball. That's a good idea, but a little bit too much power on the execution from the young Chilean.
Love how Alende joins in the attack, just giving that third option, but also gives you that ball, but just that weight of the pass is just a little bit too much for Zwane or even Mailula to get to the end of it.
There's a goal in tonight's other game as well. Marumo Gallants are leading away against AmaZulu at the Moses Mabhida Stadium, so maybe a bit of a hangover from last Friday's success against Kaizer Chiefs. Earlier on today, a point shared between Royal AM and Chipper United at Chatsworth, and then Maritzburg winning away at Golden Arrows. That's a second win on the trot for Fatu David since he's arrived at at the club. Good running here for Zwane. Good defence from Edmondson. Corner kick it'll be. Goal, by the way, for Gallants down in Durban, scored by Joseph Molongwane, otherwise known as Tight. Hasn't seen much football of late. Nice to see him back. Had a bad leg break during his time with Kaizer Chiefs. Tomorrow, of course, our first game on the menu at 3:30 is Stellenbosch at Pirates, just down the road here. Then 5:30 tomorrow night, Supersport in Richards Bay, number 2 and number 3 in the road table. All eyes, though, on the set piece. Modiba with their foot, looking to curl it in. And the big man, Bimenyamana, gets a touch in. There was a push in there anyway, so it's going to be a free kick here in favour of Kaizer Chiefs. So remember, in the PSL era, no team has won 12 successive league matches. That's what Mamelodi Sundowns are chasing tonight, amongst other things, of course, looking to extend their lead at the top of the table, but some more confidence ahead of the Champions League. And if they win here tonight, 12 successive league wins in the league. It was interspersed, we might add, with that horrible 3-0 loss that they suffered to Orlando Pirates in the MTN 8. But it'll be a new record for the PSL era. And no goal attempts from Kaizer Chiefs. That one from Dolly we've taken out of the stat because he was offside. Ball kept in play. He has a chance now. Allende will find Mokoena. Start the build-up again on the edge of the area here with Zwane, looking for Shalulile. That was cut out by Edmondson. Now here goes Ashley Dupré with that pace. Ball inside here for Dolly. Dolly puts on the afterburner as well, but Mudau intercepts. It's a lung-busting run from Dupré and from Dolly. Both have a little bit of a rest, I think, over the next 30 seconds or so.
While Mudau recovers.
Yeah, Mudau too.
It has been an interesting battle to see the likes of Ashley Dupré with his responsibility of going on the offense, but also keeping in mind what Mudau can do behind him. So that discipline, that tactical discipline from Kaizer Chiefs, we can compliment.
Foul against Shalulile. Relani Mokoena has had much success since he took over as solo head coach. And Arthur Zwane still looking for a first goal this year. This is the third match of 2023 for Kaizer Chiefs. Over on the far side in yellow and green, voicing their objections to a decision from the man from Port Shepstone. A good turnover for Sundowns in that game on Tuesday. Kaizer Chiefs have got Royal AM next weekend here at Soccer City. To TS Galaxy at Bombela before they play Maritzburg in the Cup. Cool down, a little bit of pressure there. And they've done well to get themselves out of a tight situation. Then there's an errant pass from Dolly, and it's earned a free kick. Zwane caught by the challenge of Mark, but he didn't have much of an option there, Mark.
He didn't. He tried to really salvage the situation, but unfortunately, with the ball just having so many turnovers, there's nothing he could have done. But compliments to Mailula as well, making sure that he sniffs up and picks up all those loose balls.
traffic direction from Tumalenkune. This is quite far out, but don't underestimate the talent that Sundowns have at their disposal at the free kick. Similar situation last night in Cape Town, and I underestimated Lala Kay's ability to shoot from that distance. I thought it was a little too far out. He banged it solidly against the underside of the upright. He was very unlucky not to get the opening goal there. Mokoena, we know he can strike. Modiba, we know can strike. Mayema, we've already had some evidence in this game today. Mokoena, over. Don't know if that had the requisite power to, if it was on target, to beat a goalkeeper of the ability of Kune.
I think just studying his free kicks, I thought his stance or maybe even just his run-up was just a bit too short from the range that he was coming from.
Good turn from Klanti. Dupre's been the go-to guy in this game so far, up to Bimenyamana. Dupre takes over. Now the left-footed cross produces the throw-in. Let's take it quickly as well. Half-time fast approaching here at Soccer City. Sunrise did do the double last season over Chiefs in league action. Can we do it again in this campaign? Here's Zwane. Peter Shalolile. It's a lovely ball. Mayema with a shot. There was a little gap there for him, and he was well within his rights to have an effort from that range. How close was that, you wonder?
Surely very close. And I think for Mayema, should have done better to tuck that one in. But to be fair, lots of bodies inside. Could have been an effort.
There's a look at the top goal scorers in the league at the moment. Mayema is knocking on the door. He's got 5. And then the top 3 we've mentioned. The young Maimuna in amongst the goals as well. From down on the side of the pitch, we hear there'll be just 1 minute, excuse me, added on at the end of the 45. Is there time for another one, or will both these teams settle on a quiet final 2 or 3 minutes before the half-time break? Mainula's got his tail up. Zwane inside. Mayema looking to pass it back in again. Now there must be a chance for Mudau here. Took a deflection of Klanti. He had all the time in the world there, Mudau, to set his sights.
I think Mudau would have been amongst those top goal scorers because of the acres of space he always finds himself in the final third. But it's either he chooses to make a wrong decision or a pass. He never really looks to go for targets, and I think they should have gone for targets.
Yeah, maybe something the coaches should encourage him on in future. That really was an opportunity. The result is a corner with 2 minutes to the break. Modiba takes this, curls it in. There was a good attack from Avala again. He comes in like a steam train there, and certainly caught the Chiefs' defence unawares. Oh, Ronaldo McQueen has seen enough. I think sometimes he goes up to get a little bit of the intel particularly the numbers, maybe the mileage of the players who run, the passes that have been successfully or unsuccessfully completed. He seems to digest a lot of that stuff at half-time. This might be the opportunity that he goes early to try and get some of that digested before the players come. I'm just surmising, maybe he's irritated with something. Zwane stays. Rather neutral expression it is. He must be burning inside though. Frosler. Here is Dolly. Freeway to the middle. Bimanyamana tries the slide, but that ball had gone well past him. Been little hints here and there of Chiefs' ability, and there'll be Chiefs supporters still believing their side can come back into this game. Mamelodi Sundowns have the lead as we come to the conclusion of the first half. There's the whistle from the referee, young Mr. Gasa in charge today. And Neil Mayema with the opening goal. It came on 20 minutes. Your thoughts on the first 45, Amanda?
Yeah, I thought Sundowns, as they usually do, came out composed, dictated terms, dictated the tempo of the game. But for Kaizer Chiefs, I think a plus, they kept their shape. But now it's just to go back to that drawing board and make sure they come up with solutions.
Already a debrief on the pitch with the players, and then they'll go into the change room and hear some more from Coach Zwane. Caught after 20 minutes, but certainly showing signs of an ability to fight their way back. All to be revealed in the next 45 minutes. Eagerly anticipated by the big crowd here, and I'm sure by everyone watching at home. We're looking or watching one of the classicos of the South African season, of course, the meeting between Kaizer Chiefs and Mamelodi Sundowns. Sundowns looking to extend their lead over Chiefs to 22 points in the DSTV Premiership standings, take themselves further ahead of the chasing pack. They lead by a goal to nil.